That's the question.
Freaking phenomenal, man. Got out of practice number 10, five left. Really happy with how we're looking right now. It's, really exciting with the new guys. Everyone's meshing together really well. Second year in the system, it looks way cleaner. Everything's more physical. It's just a really good feeling right now.
What's the biggest difference between the end of last year and where you are today?
Personally, last year was my first season after the little knee injury, so just building up the confidence throughout the season, having to get better every single game. So it was just a lot to take in, literally just trying to improve every game. That's not usually how it goes. You're not usually working on technique in the season, but just getting through that, and now I have time to focus on the fundamentals, really thrive. I feel like I'm very faster, I'm really stronger. My body moves ways that it really weren't in the season. So just, my confidence is at an all-time high right now.
What do you think about somebody? You talk about Matt, I guess, and Connor, and what you know from them so far.
We have the transfers. We got Matt, we got Connor, Luca, and Caleb. They're all really great guys. Number one, they got into the program right away. We clicked, we got together. It's been a really fun time, to say the least, just as people. As football players, they're all really dedicated to working their craft. Getting better in the weight room, getting faster on the field, working the fundamentals of O-line play, learning the system, learning the scheme. So, we've kind of just been with each other 24/7 for the last 4 months, just really trying to be the best players, best people that we can, get together all the time, and just see how well we can click.
Coach had said that you're pretty much static now at left. How much were you doing on the right for last year? Have you done much? And then just what is, at that position, what did you learn a year ago about what it takes to play left tackle in this moment?
I didn't play any right tackle last year. I played right tackle my freshman year. But just playing that position last year was, there's a lot of, I don't want to say pressure, but, you got a lot to do. You got to protect the quarterback as best you can. You got to move people. I don't want to say it's much different than any other position, but, obviously left tackles do get a little more, eyes on them. But it's not much more different. It's just how the media and people perceive you. You're doing the same thing as the other guys. It's really the same exact thing.
What does the complexity of having such a mobile quarterback like Aiden do for that as well? Because obviously, you can't just stand statically and be an edge blocker too. You got to sometimes be on the move with him.
Exactly. And you turn on NFL film, a lot of these offensive linemen are protected for not 5 seconds, not 10 seconds, but 15 seconds. When you got quarterbacks like Lamar and Patrick, so we're really just taught to protect this guy forever and a day. He's athletic as all hell. He can do a lot on his feet, and the more we give him opportunities to do that, the better for the team. So, our mindset is just to protect the life out of that dude, as long as it takes. So, yeah.
And what is there a different challenge than with maybe a pocket passer, or is it just something you're so accustomed to now because there are so many more mobile quarterbacks?
I don't think you see a lot of pocket passers anymore. I don't think any of our quarterbacks are defined pocket passers. And these guys are athletes too. They can move around. So the mindset is still protect them forever and a day. That's never going to change. I'm going to keep this guy safe as long as I can. That's not going to change whether he's mobile or whether he's not. The job's going to be the same thing, being given time. You watch the 7-on-7s, those guys just sit in the pocket and they're making beautiful passes because they got no pressure. So that's what, our job as the offensive line is, really keep him safe, keep him comfortable, and let him do his thing, both on his feet and with his arm.
A little more visibility with left tackles. When you ride a guy around the quarterback, everyone sees it. When you get beat, everyone sees it.
Of course.
As opposed to maybe a guard or center, you can't always tell. Do you like that?
Yeah, that's what my job is. How can I not like it? I'm working on my craft 24/7. I'm watching film and, getting stronger, trying to figure out the best ways to, better my game. So, that doesn't really bother me too much. It's cool.
Tyler, it's been like for him, and what have you seen from him?
He's a really cool dude. Just talk about another guy that the staff did such a good job recruiting. Just a great dude. And, you know, being on field with him, he's explosive as all hell. You know, he finds the gaps. He's a little more mature of a running back. You know, he's willing to, you know, get the dirty 2 and 3 yard gains, and then eventually those turn into, you know, big 4, 5, 6 explosive plays. So it's cool playing with someone that's, you know, not that the other guys weren't there. Nate and Kayron were great running backs last year. Just, you know, it's cool seeing him come in and, you know, not scared to hit a hole.
Would you say there's sort of a sense of urgency in the room just to take a step from a year ago to find a higher level of consistency and performance, I guess?
100%. You know, we are nowhere near where we need to be, and I don't think the attitude is ever going to be, you know, we're happy with where we're at. So every day it's a constant grind to become better wherever we're focusing on, whether it's the field or whatever it might be as people. Obviously we have to take big steps from last year, and we've really been working on that. Just small things like who our combos are loaned to, that's all getting cleaned up right now. And now it's just based off like we really get to focus on our technique, like focus on moving people. So that's all really cool.
You know, everything is graded, but what grade would you have given yourself, Stanton, last year, and where are you now?
I don't know. I don't know if I can put a number to it. I had good games, I had bad games, I had in between. Probably like nothing great, like a 60. It was mediocre at best. And, you know, I think I should hold myself to a much higher standard now. I want to be a much better player than I was last year, so, you know, I think the way it's going right now, it's going nowhere but up, so, yeah.
Were you active in spring last year, or did you just come back to the fall?
No, I was active in spring, but, you know, had some stuff to deal with through summer, so it was really going into summer ball, it was just like I was starting from new, kind of.
That's kind of what I wanted to ask. Does it feel like now when you kind of, like you said, sprinted through the season in a way, sort of learning, does it feel like now almost your career is starting in a way, or taking a different level?
It kind of does, just, you know, finally being able to have an opportunity to work in the off season and focus on things that I wasn't able to last year, just dealing with the injury and all that. So, yeah, it's completely different, to be totally honest. Just I can clean up a lot of small things that lead to bigger things, and, you know, it's kind of been evident in spring ball, and I'm happy with the way it's going. Just want to continue to grind and get better every single day.